Now then, this might go online. Well, starting health, stream health, good. And we're live. It's working. How cool is
Success.
that? How cool is that?
Fantastic. Well done.
I have no idea how to bring up the comments or anything. So,
Very good. We'll work on that.
and I'm going to, I don't know if I can get a link and drop it to people. There's no like sharing or anything like that. But that's okay. We can just have a chat. So
Cool.
how's things going, Lou?
Fantastic, my friend. Honestly, I just got it by one of my favorite teachers. Here I am with another of my favorite teachers. You're very welcome to have this live chat. And another teacher invited me to be a part of a group. Her name is Amrita Melchizedek, and
Right,
she's a tremendous channel.
that's a mouthful.
It is. Melchizedek is an angelic order. So it's actually a title as much as a name. But she does a monthly guided meditation, and I've done them faithfully for years. And so she's very kindly invited me to be in a group facilitating with her and some other teachers. So this is coming up on Friday. I just got invited to this today, so I'm delighted.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, invited you here today, live on YouTube. I've never been in an interview on YouTube. How cool is this? Well, chat. So,
Yeah.
the subject...
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I've had one of those weeks that everything's been happening and it's just... and I'm really learning to allow things to just happen, as opposed to try to be in control of things and making things go the way I want them to go. And
Sure.
it's a hell of a lot easier, I tell you.
Yeah,
Let the universe just flow through me, as opposed to,
there you go.
13.5 billion years, and then a little embryo comes along and grows into what my parents call Steven. And then I want to
Right.
control the whole universe.
Yeah, how's it going?
Not so good.
No. What a shock.
Yeah, how did this happen? Well, how is it so unfair? Why is it, why can't I just control? So I'll
Sure,
settle with just
sure.
controlling the people around me. Yeah, that doesn't go down too well either.
Well, there's this thing called trust, you see.
Exactly.
And when as we're laughing and having a good time, we're trusting and life is happening. So it's more of that, please.
Exactly that. I'm going to ask you a question, because then I'm going to have a look at the streaming options to see if I can see if there's any chats or anything. So,
Okay.
Lou, why is there so much unnecessary suffering?
Well, that's the operative
Big
word in that
question.
sentence, my friend. Sure, sure. Loaded question, as we say.
Yeah.
I'll walk right into it. Well, this is the way my guides put it when we've talked about pain and suffering. They say whatever has happened was necessary, or it would not have happened. So if you've gone through pain and fear and suffering, please find the best way you can to make it meaningful. And the best way to make our pain and fear and suffering meaningful is by turning it into service and helping others to grow through our own example. Right? But then, yeah, go on.
I was looking at a bit of Wayne Dyer this morning, and so somebody asked him the question is, how can you be happy and not suffer when your sister-in-law's got cancer or things are going on all over the world? And he had a brilliant answer. He said, no amount of me being miserable is going to make them happier. is going to get rid of
Right.
there. And
Right.
that just really was powerful with me, you know. Know about
Yes.
me going into myself and just suffering is going to relieve
Right.
their suffering.
Right. Right. That's very true. Abraham says a very similar thing. They say you cannot get sick enough to make someone else well, and you cannot get poor enough to make someone else wealthy. So,
Yeah.
so you're right. My teacher Lazarus has a really powerful quote about pain. They say your pain is your separation from and your longing for your oneness with God, or with love. And pain breaks our will.
Yeah.
You know, we were joking about control versus trust a moment ago, and this is what we're all here to learn to understand in our illusions of separation, is that there is a loving flow to life and to the universe. When we listen to, trust, and follow our inner guidance, we can tune into it. But the more we are driven by pain and fear and our external struggles, the more suffering we get.
It's Mother Teresa. I've had the discussion with lots of people about Mother Teresa, and
Yeah.
bearing in mind that she lived in a very different time than we're living in now. Hospitals are very different. Calcutta was very much not even where we were to in the 60s and 70s.
Sure.
And very misunderstood, because she believed pain brought you closer to Jesus, closer to Christ, closer to God. And so does the Buddha, so does Jesus, so does, you know, look where you don't want to look. But it's very misunderstood that she was hard and she was not the nice lady as what she's portrayed to be, simply because she did believe that, you know, the pain does give you relief eventually. And it's just interesting how misinterpreted this facing pain gives us freedom. It's not that we want people to suffer. It's just if we face our own pain, if we face what triggers us, what pisses us off, you know, why is this person me off right now? What is it about them that's triggering something inside of me? That's where you look to the suffering.
That's right. Yeah, go ahead. Did you want to say more about that?
No, that's pretty well it. This is why, you know, everybody's my bodhisattvas now. You know, my carers that all do things different to me, and nobody can do toast the same way as I would like it. Being paralyzed like I am, seriously, there's about 1,000,001 ways of doing toast, and I'm up to about 500 million of them so far.
And none of them are right, are they?
No, it's seriously, the art of making toast is, and it's such an individual process, and you have to really let go. And
Exactly.
you know, they're all my bodhisattvas, and they're all teaching me to let go.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Pain is constriction and contraction. Yeah, and as you say, accepting, trusting, forgiving, crying, screaming, laughing, all of that is letting go. And in order to let go, we have to accept on some emotional level that you know, we've invited this, that this is a part of our moment, our experience in life, for whatever reason we understand or don't understand. Thich Nhat Hanh, who I also love, he says, you can learn how to suffer. You can learn to work with your suffering. And then it becomes not this punishment, but as you said, this feedback about consciousness and our ideas of self, and working with that, literally meditating with that, or breathing through that, facing that.
I'm here looking for a link to this live so I can share it somewhere. I can't find it for the life of me.
All right, well, We
I
may
will,
have to let that go for the moment.
I will find it in a moment.
Okay, okay.
But that's why I'm 50% listening and 50%.
You're fine. You're fine. I'll say it. I'll say more about our old friend Payne here. My guides have taught me, with 30 years of working with spirit, and I'm sure you see this in your own counseling work and your one-to-one sessions as well, my friend, that I can only really hold a space for other people's pain if I've faced some similar pain in my own life. And, through your journey and my journey, each of us get to face our own pain and suffering and fear. And when we face that pain and don't run from it, then it does make us more aware of being more than our pain and having the faith and the experience that this too will pass. Most people get very defended and judgmental and self-critical, and they hate their pain and they hate themselves being in pain and this kind of thing. And that, of course, only makes it harder.
Yeah. I found it. I love the way you say, I'll talk about my little friend Pain. Because it is, befriend these, befriend your shame, your guilt, your pain, your fear. If you want to be complete, have a lot of friends internally.
Right. Yes.
Have the party inside, but bring them all to the party. Give them all a sense that they're worth something.
That's right. That's right. That's very well said. It's Rumi's poem about the guest house, which you mentioned at other times. Here comes whoever to my door. What is their gift for me? Let me welcome them like I've invited them.
Yeah. I love that poem.
Yes, because there's great wisdom in that.
And I love the way he says, even if they're coming to clear your house,
Right.
welcome them anyway,
Yeah, yeah. We often judge from a place of unconsciousness, and resistance, and that doesn't help us to heal the pain or end our suffering. And of course, pain and suffering are two different things. Pain is a part of life. Suffering is our judgments around our pain.
Yeah.
I don't deserve this. I'm a victim of this. This is unfair, etc.
Reminds me very much of we get physical pains and all that, and we go straight to the doctor because we want to fix them, as opposed to finding out where they're all coming from.
Right.
I
know it's hysterical, isn't it?
It is, and it's almost like we need to go to the doctors and we get loads of prescriptions, and we want the doctor to write it out to all the people around us.
Yes.
Can you write out the prescription because everybody else is really annoying me?
Right, I'm perfect. Everyone else is my problem. That's why I'm suffering. Yeah. My joke is, why is there always one suspect at the scene of all my crimes? It's, it's that Lou guy. Yeah, he keeps showing up wherever I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah, I do like that. I'm just thinking, we never even think, in relationships after relationships, we go through the same cycle, and we blame these people that are completely different from the last person for showing up and doing exactly the same thing again.
Right.
And we're not even realizing we're causing it. We are the cause of so many of these things.
We absolutely. Yeah.
So
relationship is the great master teacher. Good.
And I'm going to let it all go now and
okay.
See if we get any comments and questions. Feel free to anybody to comment and question. We're here for the next half an hour.
Right. Brilliant. Thank you, Stephen. My guides have a nice quote. They say, pain is fear in the body. And fear is pain in the mind.
Pain is fear in the body. Yeah, I like that.
You know,
So,
and it's like, of course, it's resistance and judgment and contraction. Yeah.
yeah. And do you think it's possible to have no pain, no suffering, to go through every day in this blissful enlightenment, as you know, as we're led to believe in so many ways?
It's a high bar.
Yeah.
It's a very high bar. Yeah. I think, you know, practicing meditation is probably the best tool that we have to learn how to take dominion over our mind and our body. You know, because my guides say, so you have a mind and a body, but you are your soul and spirit. So when we start really making this deep inner journey that you and I have been making for decades, you know, and many others are making as well, you start to get that detachment and space for grace, where you're not your pain in the moment or your struggle in the moment, and you can kind of take a step back from it and be with it without feeling it's you, right?
That's
And
what this
that is
meditation. That's what meditation gives us. It gives us that space to recognize the different voices within. The thoughts aren't us. We have some kind of
right,
control.
right, right. Yes, and then we can begin to consciously choose. This is my long way around the barn to answer your question. Live with less pain or less suffering or less fear is as we are able to detach from our thoughts, like you're saying so well there. Then we can decide, what am I still holding on to here, or what am I still resisting or judging about myself or my situation? And then can I let that go? Can I give that to God? Can I give that back to the universe?
We get
It
so
works.
attached. We get so attached to our suffering.
That's what suffering is.
You know, we almost fall in love with it, and you know, it serves us in such a huge way. Because, like you say, the high bar of not suffering, you know, getting out of it, trying to climb out of it. When we're stuck in it, it's a tall order. It really is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you just cannot see it. We have those moments of, hey, you know, I'm the victim here, and then 3 seconds later, you're back to the victim, and you cannot even see it. I always
right,
like to think you're in a cage with the door wide open, but you don't
right,
know it.
right. That's well said. Yeah, excuse me. Pain and fear are I have no choice. The belief that I have no choice, and the experience of not choosing or not making conscious choices or not taking responsibility. That's how we paint ourselves into the corner, or put ourselves into the little jail cell or cage, whatever. And then, so that's unconscious.
Yeah.
That's refusing to look at it or refusing to take responsibility. Whereas the healing is becoming conscious. I have a choice here. This is my nation. I can work with this. I can respond to this.
So, what would you recommend for it? You mentioned meditation, and I remember when I come out of the dark night of the soul. I now recognize it as I had no feelings, I had no thoughts or anything. But when I came out of it, the thoughts came back thick and fast. The accusations of me, the pointing the fingers. My God, were they? It was like as if they were all saved up, ready for, right, when you're ready,
Oh yeah.
sweetie, I'm going to hit you with
Oh
everything.
yeah, that's right. They wait patiently by the door.
Oh, they did. And, you know, and it was, I ended up single. And it was totally out of the blue, you know. I don't know if it's a man thing or not, but I thought everything was perfect, just like that Pink song. When she's saying about all the
Okay.
problems, and he comes in and goes, "What's wrong? I thought everything was perfect." That was my. So when I got a
Yeah.
text saying, "You know, I don't know what I want anymore," I was no stranger to split ups. I knew what that meant. By the end of the day, it was all over. 4 days later, I still hadn't felt nothing, felt anything. I was
Right.
dormant
Right.
inside. But then
Right.
after a few weeks of struggling to sleep and all the other things, months maybe,
Yeah.
I picked up
Right.
books, and
Right.
every single book told me to meditate, and I hated them because here it was, the one solution that every book that I was enjoying until this point was the one thing I could never do because I thought too much.
Right.
And
But you
it's
built a
just
bridge and got
mental.
over yourself.
Oh,
Well,
oh,
that's right. Meditation, it's not what you think.
no. So I wanted Dark Side Johnny's here. Hi Johnny, how you doing? Feel free to ask questions and all that. We got to the point we're talking about meditation and how it helps. Well, I would sit down to meditate. I tried it when I was about 27, and the first time I tried it, I'll be honest, I thought it was cool and I thought it was going to get me laid. It lasted
Sure.
about 25 minutes and it didn't happen. So
Okay.
I was on my own at a point.
Right.
So.
Okay.
But I had to try it out of necessity the second time.
Okay.
Because I
Right.
really was being controlled by my thoughts, being controlled by. And I was
Right.
like, I was like in a busy train station and everybody was pushing me around. Meanwhile, I couldn't even
Yeah.
have a moment's gap in my thoughts. So I'd sit down and meditate and they would come thick and fast.
Right.
And because of sheer necessity, I had to persevere. I thought there must be
Yeah.
something in it if every book is telling me.
Yeah. Might be something here. Right.
You can
Right.
disclude something when you get the 1 out of 10 books mention something. But when they're all mentioning it, when it's everywhere,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
mainly it was pointing the finger at me. I didn't like
Right.
the fact they were all
Right.
saying it was me. It wasn't me. It was everybody else.
Sure. Sure.
The good old
Yeah.
meme.
Yes.
I don't need anger
Yes.
management. Everybody needs to stop pissing me off.
Right, right, right. Yes. Well, and of course, Spirit is very good about that. When they know what the best next step for us is, suddenly it's everywhere in your life, and there's nothing you can do to escape it
Yeah.
or avoid it. And it's like you might as well just take the medicine and get on with it,
Yeah. I'm so glad.
But
I persevered.
meditation, yeah. Well, but you've obviously you had a breakthrough with that through meditation, opening up to it.
Well, I had the gift of I had no choice. I had to do something.
Yeah.
I wasn't sleeping. My mind. I don't know who to call you, Dark Side Johnny or Johnny. He said meditate with music. Is the Bible up for discussion or not? Hey, bring anything to the table. We can
Sure.
discuss the Bible, anything.
I love a good book.
We don't exclude anything. There's too much
Right.
excluding stuff in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of
truth
my
is the truth.
teachers, one of my teachers always say, Richard Raw always says, instead of listening and then going but, listen and go and.
Yeah. 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 We're big enough to handle the truth,
Yeah.
and everyone gets their own.
And nobody is 100% wrong, ever. Even if it's just a relative.
Yeah. Well, right and wrong are completely subjective, you know.
If you want to dig
But,
deep in truth, you've only got one absolute truth anyway, and that's we don't really know what's going on.
Well, so to come back to meditation, because it connects to what you're saying here, if people can find peace, then everything begins to come into perspective again.
Yeah.
But when we can't or won't find peace, then we're all running on empty, and it's only a matter of time before we really suffer. And I find that accident, illness, and injury tend to happen when we don't give ourselves permission to slow down and be in touch with ourselves,
Yeah.
or express grief, anger, sadness, whatever it is that we're feeling that we don't want to feel, but we need to feel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the feelings, or the emotions. The feelings are different. The emotions, I tend to like them to. You've been on a beach as a child. I'm surrounded by beaches, so it's an easy analogy for me to use.
Yeah, I'm from LA.
And you got them as well.
Yeah.
Is LA surrounded by beaches?
It's in California. It's surrounded by
Of
beaches,
course
yes.
it is.
Yes. I'm in Ireland now. I'm not far from the beach here either.
I forget you're an American.
Okay.
Okay. I love that response. Okay. No, being in Cornwall, I always look at the emotions as a good analogy for the rivers next to the beaches. And as kids, we go over them, we build these little dams. First thing you do as a kid is you build dams. And you would never stop the water. And that's what the emotions are. We're trying to build that dam against the emotion. I don't like this emotion. It hurts me. It makes me cry. I lose control and all. And what we do is we push it back and we push it back. And it drowns us until one day we're sat on a kitchen floor with our head between our knees, bawling our eyes out.
Right.
Not able to think or anything, because at some point your heart will go, hey, mind, shut the... we need to...
Right.
You need to listen.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, that's true. And it's especially true for guys, you know, where we really tend to be in our heads quite a bit and very reluctant to feel and express our emotions. And they're so important, especially in relationship. Women know this better than anyone.
Yeah. Johnny says, Paul speaks of suffering and running the race. New Testament. Nearly everything is about looking towards suffering. No matter who you, whether you look at someone recent, some of the teachers, Wayne Dyer, yourself, going right back to all the teachers, all of them will say, go to where you don't want to go. Leave the palace, go and eat with lepers, as you know Jesus would say.
Yeah. You know, pain and fear are resistance. And suffering is dragging out our resistance. Whereas when we surrender, when we cry, when we scream, when we forgive, when we take responsibility, when we ask to be forgiven, when we make amends, whatever we need to do, we're saying, I can't live with this, as you said. I want to come back to peace and feeling good. What do I need to do? If we ask, you know, God, Source, Spirit will tell us, and then we act on it and things get better. But often we don't ask.
And even after we ask, we often make the judgment of how we want it delivered. You know,
Right.
Give me less suffering, or give me less pain. I want this, I want that. And then we say to the universe how we want it, as opposed to just allowing it to be. You know, the universe doesn't talk in currency, it doesn't talk in the things that we talk in. The universe will give you exactly what you need to overcome anything.
Right. That you're open to receive.
Yeah. That's the big one, is the receiving of
Yes, my friend. That's
as you
the
know,
biggest
I've
thing.
learned recently.
Well, every day, brother, you know, because we do get trapped in our heads. That's why, you know, when you, through crisis or chaos or madness or sadness or devotion or dedication, however you start to really come to the altar of yours every day with an open mind, you start to walk a different talk, you know, and you start to understand you're not in charge and you're not alone, and there is a purpose for this. Pay attention or you'll get to pay other things.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that.
Thanks.
Suffering helps us grow because we learn, we overcome. Absolutely. We
Right.
transcend and include it. That's the good thing with suffering. And I can't remember who says it now. It might be Ken Wilber. But he says, you know, the spiritual journey isn't about overcoming pain. The pain will still be there. If anything, the pain will be deeper. You know, at one point you'll feel the pain for the person you love, your children. On your spiritual journey, at some point, you'll feel the pain for every suffering in the world. And it'll be heavy. But you don't suffer because of it. You feel the pain, but you don't go into, I cannot cope with this because the world's a horrible place and I cannot deal with
Right.
all the pain and suffering in the world. It's not your pain.
Right.
It's not your suffering to bear.
Right, right. As we said at the outset, you know, we can have compassion, we can have empathy, we can be generous with our time and our resources and our prayers and our desires to help each other, but we can't suffer for each other, and we don't help other people suffering. You know, we all have to suffer in our own way and our own meaning out of our own suffering, and hopefully not stay in love with it and stay addicted to it and stuck there. You know, a lot of addiction, Lazarus taught us this, is this wheel, basically, where I feel guilty, I want to escape my guilt, I do my addiction, I feel guilty, I want to escape my guilt, I do my addiction, you know, and you never get off that wheel of suffering until you start to have greater compassion for your suffering and decide, you know, my life is worth more than this and I'm worth more than this. What can I do?
Yeah. Johnny says, carry on my ways. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Kansas.
Right. Right. Great
Lyrics
stuff.
from the song.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah. We're all on the same journey. We're just doing it in our own way. And the best gift we can offer each other is being honest and sincere and respectful of what each person has to share.
yeah. I love the inclusive of everything. It's just the older I get, or the more on the path journey, 'cause it's got nothing to do with age. It's the more times I've been around the sun, maybe, or the more times I've been knocked out. But the one thing that I've learned more than anything is you can give love all you like. You can be the most loving person in the world. You can give the shirt off your back. But there's an extra part to it that to become complete, you've got to be able to receive it. And for me, that was a part that I resisted for so long. I don't need it. The world needs love. I'm okay. You know,
Sure.
I don't need
Right.
it. I'm giving love to other people. And I
Right.
would, on the self-love, I'd love myself, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
receive the love I was giving myself.
Yeah.
It's subtle,
Yeah, buddy.
but
It's very
huge.
vulnerable. Right. Well, yes, that's right. That's your air conditioning story, which I know and love, you know,
Yeah.
and I have those stories too. Yeah. Where I think, you know,
Tell us one.
sure. Well, honestly, I mean, truly, this is how I live every day of my life. You know, as a spiritual counselor and channel, I support myself by sharing my resources and experiences with people. Can I think of a particular one?
So you've been a spiritual teacher and a channeler now, 30 years?
Yes, learning about it, and that's why I love the whole Zen concept that you're starting over every day.
Yeah, beginner's mind.
You know, exactly. And no, I've had miracle after miracle, but it usually comes, as you've described, through trying everything else first that I think is better or more important or more practical, and realizing, no, this is not going to work. And then I go, oh, well, I must surrender this to God. That's, of course, what this is about, or I'll do this. And it always helps and always creates some shift in me that I see then in my outer world where the money shows up, the work shows up, the opportunity shows up, the gift shows up, the healing, all of that. So it keeps us very humble. You know, that's what I want to embody and share with people. The other thing is, at a certain point, you start to know when you're going down the wrong path very quickly, you know, through your own experience, and you realize, yeah, I could do this, but this is not going to bring me peace. It's going to bring me more drama, you know, more illusion of my own inflation and separation and all of that. Yeah, no, one particular story isn't coming to mind because it's really like every day, every day.
I was thinking of when you said about a couple of stories. I was thinking of a couple of experiences I've had recently. And, and just before I say them, actually, I want to say we are live, so there's a few people watching. Ask questions. Say hi. Just say who you are. We'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to join in with the conversation. This conversation hasn't got no real... it's just through us. It's just happening. There's no real subject here, really. But yeah, recently I witnessed a couple of people that... 7 o'clock in the morning, things are going terribly wrong because money hasn't gone into the bank and different things like that. And what they're going to do. And that they're absolutely panicking, like as if the whole day has already gone wrong. I'm like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. Well, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. You can't do nothing till 9. At 9 o'clock, make the phone call. Yeah, but you have no idea what can happen. You have no... Well, so in their heads... Everything's already gone wrong.
Sure.
Everything's already happened. Everything's gone wrong in their lives already. That day.
Right.
Come 9 o'clock, they made the phone call, sorted out, gone, done.
Right.
But we have this. It's inbuilt deliberately for us to survive. It evolved perfectly for us to see the dangers ahead. You know, and luckily we wouldn't have survived this long. You know, we do share a planet with some bears.
Sure.
But we misinterpret it so much.
That's the word. That's right. Yeah, you see, that fight or flight, mad panic, and desire for control over everything and everyone, that is really third dimension. And where we're going as we raise our vibration into the fifth dimension is not that. And I'm more clear about that every day. So that is basically living by vibration and living through intention and commitment to our oneness with all life and reverence for all life and respect for ourselves and each other. And to know that there is a spiritual dimension to our experience that's there to support us and guide us. But it's not going to impose itself upon anyone. We have to kind of surrender into it, you know.
Antonia says, it's the first time to open up a YouTube channel. Good to see you. It's good to see you guys on here as well. Yeah, we're just trying some new software, aren't we, Lou? And we were going to have a chat today and record it anyway. So we thought, why not go live on YouTube? So that's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're going to make it a regular thing because I always love chatting to you, Lou. You always give me good insights.
Likewise, brother. A joy. Truly, every time, man. I've never failed to come away less than inspired.
And equally.
Thank you.
You say about guides a lot, and you do channeling, which differs from my beliefs a little, which is cool, which is why I like our conversations.
Right.
I want to say convince me, but my ego says I don't want you to convince me. So.
Well, I'll tell you what my guides say, which is proof is the most subjective thing in the universe.
Yeah.
It's like, go on, go ahead.
There's two teachings in Buddhism, and I cannot remember the two names for them. One is very philosophical thinking, the knowledge, and one is the
Right.
experience. And I
Right.
read several Zen books, and they were talking about Mu and Zen and Dhyana mind and Satori and Nirvana and all that stuff, and emptiness, and none of it made any sense to me. I didn't believe
Really?
any of it. It had no.
Okay.
And then
Nowhere to land.
Junpo come along. No,
Okay.
it's funny now that I see it, but it just didn't.
Sure.
There's hundreds of books trying to explain nothing, no thing.
Yes.
And the reason why it's so hard in the book is because you have to experience it. How does a
Sure.
book give you an experience? And Junpo come along with Mondo Zen, and he takes you through about 13 koans. And the first koan is, can you purely listen without judgment? So you sit down there, it rings the bell, and you just listen and listen and listen. And then you come to an answer. And he'll give you the answer because the answers are irrelevant. It's the experience.
Right.
So if
right.
you struggle to say, yes, it's possible, he'll guide you through, And then the next koan is, where is the catalyst of the listening? The stock market guys and the younger success-driven will go in the head. The heart-centered empathy will go, it's here. And it's really interesting because at that point you experience emptiness. You experience the source, the soul. There's so many names for it.
Sure.
And like you say, the proof is in the experiencing. And it wasn't until then that I could go, that's what it was. And then
Right.
there's one step further in Buddhism, and that is when you become part of everything around.
Right.
And I don't normally share this story, and the reason why I don't is because I never understood it for such a long time.
Okay.
When I broke my neck, it was late in the evening. It was 10:31 because I looked at my watch before I dived off the wall. I was 18 years old. I was showing off, typical guy.
Yeah.
And
being a
when I
kid.
hit the bottom of the pool, I knew something was serious. I couldn't move my arms or legs. I took enough breath for about 20 seconds in the water. I expected to come back out. And after, I don't know how long, everything went to a neutral temperature. I want to say warm, but it wasn't. It just wasn't warm nor cold. It was just neutral. And then I become everything else around me. I was no longer in the pool. I was the pool. I was everything else.
Right. Okay.
And for a long time, me explaining that to people or even attempting it just sounded in my head ridiculous, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But hitting my rock bottom at 40, reading books and then studying with Zen masters, I recognise what it is. And we are absolutely connected in everything. And it was the ultimate warmth and comfort. What is comfort? Comfort is when the pillow and you don't have a seam between you and you can't feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
So when we go back to the ocean, like Rumi says, about the drip in the ocean, you are the ocean in the drip.
Right.
We are
right.
so connected that I had that experience. It was a wonderful gift that I could never understand. But we are not separate at all. It is such an illusion.
Right.
I can't remember
That's
where
right.
the story come from now, but it's experiencing it. It's feeling it.
Well, that's right. Exactly. When you're talking about channeling and guides and belief and all that, and then you're relating your mystical awareness, in that way. The Kundalini awakening I had at 30 was the same thing, where I felt this expanded sense of ecstasy and love and joy and oneness.
Yeah.
And I was different for a week after that experience. It was life-changing. And then the challenge becomes, how to live with that understanding and respect that in our daily lives.
Yeah, I never really had like the Kundalini experience really that I was aware of what it was until probably the last 3 years. And yeah, it's just incredible when you have that overwhelming experience of, and it does come from the heart. It does come from the center part of your body, and
Yeah.
you cannot help to smile. You cannot help to. Everything's amazing in that. A wet leaf on the floor is a miracle, you know.
Yes. Well, seen through the eyes of love.
Yeah, it's just
Yes, then everything
everything
is
is a miracle.
beautiful.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. And you are that. You see, that's the essence of who we are. And in near-death experiences and moments like this, we return to that. And that's a state of grace that then you bring back into your body, and it helps you integrate more of your spirit into whatever is next
yeah.
for you on the planet.
I'm just going to read Antonia's comment a moment.
Yeah.
I am following you during a train ride. Not the best transmission. So sorry, I leave, but I like your program. We'll keep up soon again. Wish you so much luck. All the best.
Great.
Yeah. So if anybody's here, join in. We've got about another 5 minutes because I've got my carer coming and I've got to do tea and I've got another call.
Sure.
But how
Sure
good
thing.
is this software?
Brilliant.
It hasn't missed a beat, is it?
No, it's very solid. I like it a lot.
Um,
Yeah. Thank you for putting it together and inviting me.
Yeah, I just love it. I don't have to worry about sound. I don't have to worry about connection issues. And so VMix, thank you guys. You've done something.
Great. Yeah.
So going back to meditating, if anybody's here and anybody knew we were talking about meditation earlier on, what would be your first steps? They've been told to meditate. They struggle to meditate.
Right. Well, this is where we would perhaps have different experiences or different practices. I've been basically listening to the guided meditations of other channel teachers for 30 years.
Yeah.
So that's Oren and Daben, Lazarus, Abraham, many, many others as well. They just kind of take you on a journey. And they have so many things to choose from that it's kind of like being in a restaurant with a menu. And you go, okay, self-love, let's plug into that, or receiving extra energy to heal this crisis, etc. So, the help is there. But the central theme is, like we're saying, turning off or down the fearful, confused mind.
You can come and say hello. This is Lou.
Hi.
Hi there.
Bend down.
I don't know which.
She's about 7 foot tall, this camera.
Oh. I can't
Hi dear, how are you?
Good, thank you. Tired. Do you want tea?
Good.
Yeah, I'll have a cup of tea and just give me 5 minutes, then we're finished.
Right, okay.
We're just live on YouTube, that's all.
What?
Yeah, you're fine. She would never have said hello otherwise, if I told her before.
She's too shy. Right. Bless her heart. She seems lovely. Yeah, man. So meditation is quieting the mind, opening the heart, and awakening the spirit. And if you do that as a daily practice, there's less suffering, less pain and fear, and you feel more empowered to respond to it rather than to react to it.
Very good.
And that's a great gift in this world.
I would add, although I'm very much a Zazen meditator, sit down, keep your eyes open, and listen. I absolutely listen to other teachers too, guided meditations. Do that. If you're struggling, put Insight Timer up. Listen to anybody that just resonates with you, anybody that makes you feel good. It's about an energy. And if your energy feels good and your energy is picked up, it really doesn't matter how you're doing it or what you're doing.
Right.
Just
You want peace of
persevere at
mind.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, peace of
But
mind is the product of spiritual practice.
but don't ever get too easy with your mind for thinking. It's designed to do that.
Yes, it's deciding what thoughts you want to think.
Yeah.
Then,
Which
then
ones you want to go with.
there you go. Then it starts to get interesting.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's you don't want to switch off your heart. You don't want to stop your liver doing what it's designed to do. So why do we want to switch our mind off?
Right. Well, it's as the computer thing says, garbage in, garbage out. So you want to feed your mind, just like your body and your life, good things, good experiences, good ideas, hope, faith, trust, gratitude, joy, peace, what helps you to come back to the best you can be.
Like the generation game. Pick the stuff you want
Good.
off the conveyor belt at the end of it.
Okay.
Can you remember
I'll
that?
take it. No, I don't know that one, no.
Yeah, in the generation game, it's about 20 years ago or something. At the end of
Right.
it, you would get the opportunity to win as much stuff as possible. And the conveyor
Okay.
belt would come along with a teddy. Teddy always had a
Okay.
holiday. Teddy,
Right.
kettle and things. And then you had 30 seconds to remember the most things as possible. And
Okay.
everyone tries focusing on everything. I want it all. And they forget the big holiday, the big things. No, just remember the two things. Go with what you really want. Forget the rest.
Right. Yeah. Well, and as artists and creative people, it's wonderful when Bob Dylan has a great line. He says, "You learn the rules so you can break the rules." And you learn your material as an actor so you can transcend the material.
Yeah.
That's what excites me, is to know what is in the song and then let the song carry me away.
I love that. It was a good note to finish on.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Luke. I've just got to work out how we disconnect now. Give me
Okay.
a few seconds.
Have a lovely cup of tea with your beautiful carer.